What's up, man? How y'all doing? I want to take the time to say thank you for coming to check in with me, view in on this video. I got a little message for y'all today, men and women. I got a download today, man, and not only did I get a download, I've been experiencing some stuff, man. So I was like, you know what? Let me tap in with some folks with a video really quick. You guys can probably resonate, you know, and just kind of relate to what I'm talking about, man, especially as a young man, but women too, ladies too, man. Y'all fall into this too. So as I'm roaming throughout my day, I went to the gym. I ran a couple of errands, and the sun has been out, don't get me wrong, but I'm like, man, it's some pretty women out today. And it's a lot of women out today. Beginning of the week, sun shining, everybody grinding. I'm like, they outside today. Which kind of brings me to this topic that I want to bring to you guys, and it's primarily for my men, my young man, but it's for everybody, don't get me wrong. And what I wanted to talk to you guys today about, a common issue, not just amongst men, but everybody, is being really lustful. And I feel the need to bring up this topic, not necessarily the need, but it's important, it's necessary to bring up the idea of not being so lustful, because this one thing is draining you. Lust is a strong sexual desire, and we as humans have hormones and desires, which is very natural. We were created to hone these feelings and things of such. Being too lustful is causing you to act out in ways, which in return is helping you to lose sight of yourself. And of course, strengths and weaknesses are very subjective amongst each individual, but commonly it's allowing us to not be focused as men is because we're too busy chasing tail. Not only do we get super hormonal as humans, but we're living in a time of instant gratification, where we want everything at our fingertips, at the snap of a finger, like that. You know what I'm saying? So now you got all these different kind of dating apps. You know what I'm saying? Not even dating apps. People just more likely hooking up online, seeing pretty women online and, being lustful off of that. It's too much in today's time that's in place to set you up for failure rather than to push you forward. That's why the corn and all of that is free. You know what I'm saying? It's easy access. You know what I'm saying? Because they know the weakness of a man. Not just men, women too. Just being overly lustful in general, not being able to contain it, put a lid on it, it's keeping you from your purpose or whatever is meant for you in life. Everybody is here for a purpose. Everybody's meant to do something. And it's like we spend our time and our energy trying to satisfy that lust. And I'm speaking about this firsthand because growing up, it was encouraged to watch the flicks. It was encouraged to see how much tail you can get. It was encouraged to see how many phone numbers you can get in a day. You know what I'm saying? Like, and me, myself, personally, don't get me wrong, I've never really had trouble in that department when it came to women. And so I've had access to a lot of experience, and when I look at it over time, I've wasted a lot of time, energy, and a whole bunch, you know what I'm saying? Dealing with certain people, but nevertheless, it was experiences, don't get me wrong. But it came to a point, I was like, I'm always feeling so drained. I'm cloudy in my mind. I don't have no ambition, no drive to want to go do nothing. But yet when it comes to these women or trying to satisfy this lust, I got time and energy for that. Always. And so I decided to do something about that. I was like, man, I got to put, control this, put a lid on that. Just overall, it's not attractive in general to be overly lustful as a person, man or women. Other people can sense it, see it in you, and that will tend to drive people away. Unless you coming across somebody else that's just like you, trying to fulfill the same things that you trying to fulfill. To each his own, you feel me? I ain't hating or judging nobody. But if you find any interest in living in the best version of yourself, expressing true masculinity, true femininity, it's vital that you act out of self-control. Put a lid on it. Try to transmute that energy into other things, like fitness, a new project, anything. other than sex. Now, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I'm not bashing that. I'm not saying it's taboo. I'm not deeming that as anything less than, because it's human nature, right? But it's not human nature to just let it be all out of control, smack anything moving, or women, hit anything coming your way. It's really, I don't want to sound stereotypical, biased, but really for women, it's not a good look for you to be out here so lustful. You know what I'm saying? Majority of the time, the man gonna do that over you. And you the one that's gonna recognize that, analyze that, and be like, oh no. You know what I'm saying? I act with some class. I won't go on a whole tangent about this idea, but always being really lustful doesn't always have to show in wanting to have sex all the time. It could show in, those cravings that you get, all that unhealthy food that you be binge eating. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. So I think it's important that we become aware of these things so that way we can know how to handle them and, put these kinds of things back under our control, because it's a lot easier to slip and allow yourself to live in your lower nature, talking about lust and greed and gluttony and things of that type of nature. I ain't even gonna hold y'all. There was a point in my life where I felt like getting a lot of cheeks, having a lot of women, living in this lust was being a man. That's what I thought. That's what I felt. That's what I seen growing up in society. Like, the more the merrier, you know what I'm saying? And it got to a real point where it started to take a huge toll on me. I felt like I was running out of juices at one point. You know what I'm saying? And that's when, like I said a little earlier in the video, that's when that brain fog and that lack of clarity, not being able to look people in the eye all the time, all that stuff started to come about. Just feeling anxious all the time, not even being consciously aware of who I'm mating with. You know what I'm saying? Was I using protection? There's a whole bunch that go up under that. All because I was being lustful. All because I couldn't control it. All because I wasn't trying to live in my true masculinity. I ain't ever gonna talk about this in a regretful sense, because I honestly and truly don't feel that way. But being overly lustful landed me 3 kids without the best situation around them. I ain't married. I ain't put no ring on nobody's finger. No nothing. Laying down making babies. You know what I'm saying? And I have to deal with the aftermath of those things. Do I regret it? No, not at all. I love my kids to death, and I wouldn't trade them for the world. Could I have done some things a lot differently around them? Of course. And a lot of times it would take for a man trying to live in his true masculinity to realize that. Because otherwise, you feel me, I could feel like creating all these babies with different women is the thing to do, and keep doing it. You know what I'm saying? Keep living in my lust, not trying to control it. You know what I'm saying? Lust will take you down a far path of destruction, man, if you let it. So if you somebody who's watching this video and you notice that's just one thing about yourself, about being overly lustful, you know what I'm saying, or constantly wanting or thinking about sex, I just want to tell you congratulations. That's a wonderful thing that you came about that realization, because now that means if you want to, this is only if you want to, that means now you have the opportunity to do something about it. This would be the perfect reason to sit down with yourself with a pen and a pad and start writing some things down. What else do you desire outside of sex, women or men? What goals do you want to reach? Where do you see yourself in life 5 years from now? I ask myself these same questions too, so I'm in the same boat with you. Don't get me wrong. I'm not just somebody got it all together making these videos to make you think something about yourself. Nah, I'm dealing with these things too, man. And so some of the things that I do to kind of some of the things that I kind of do to contain these urges, for those who know me, know I love fitness. I love to work out. I love to put some kind of pressure on my body, which in turn, it helps alleviation in the mind, feel good within your soul. So I love fitness. I love being outside, breaking the sweat, or at the gym. In turn, I don't like to read, but I'm liking to read more. I'm starting to get into more novels. Going for walks, you know what I'm saying? Spending time in nature. These things really help to override that lustful urge, that lustful desire, especially in the morning times, man. Like, you just be boiling down there, and it's like, damn, I gotta do something to, override this feeling or get past it. Because one thing I don't want to do is release it. That's what I don't want to do. You know what I'm saying? Just out of careless activity. This probably should have been one of the first things that I mentioned. But for those of us who are high in our faith, get into some prayer. Get into some meditation. Do your best to clear your mind from that feeling, that sensation, you know what I'm saying? I don't care what it is. As long as you're trying to make an effort to go against that grain and preserving yourself, you know what I'm saying? You're on the brink of the right track, man. Whether you religious, spiritual, get into some prayer. Try to get into some meditation. It'll really help out. The idea of being a hold back and not act on that lust is such a beautiful thing, because now this places a whole bunch of value on you, your self-worth. People out, not that it matters what other people think, don't get me wrong, but people outside of you can notice and see these things. You begin to come like this rare commodity. Everybody don't have access to you. You not wanting to be for everybody. Everybody not being for you. You know what I'm saying? And in turn, this kind of, in a way, it can kind of make you become a little mysterious and make people want to dawn in on you a little more. You know, when you have this self-preservation quality within yourself, when you seem to be a person who lives within their dignity and stands on their morals, stands on that internal business, people outside of you can notice and see these things. And it places a different type of rank on you, more value. Your self-worth begins to increase, not with validation from anybody else, but simply for yourself. So if you understand and know that you're somebody that's having trouble in this department, of being able to control your urges, your lust, your hormones, man, hit me with something in the comment section. We could chat. If not, spend some time with yourself and start to create a foundation of things or projects, ideas, activities that you can accomplish with this excess energy that you got going on down there. Start transmuting that, doing different things to override this idea of wanting to have sex all the time. Because you chipping pieces of yourself off every time you choose to drain yourself and release yourself up, just because you feel in a certain type of way. So I ain't gonna make this too long, but if you had a chance to tap into this video, I want to take the time to say thank you, and I appreciate you highly. If you haven't already, go ahead and like, subscribe, comment to the video. I'm always open and eager for feedback, so hit me up, chat with me. Until next time, much love, y'all. 100.